outside because it's a beautiful day and we are going to talk about God's creation today. So I hope that you are as excited as I am, and we're going to get started with a worship song, and it's Who's the King of the Jungle? Jesus!
Who is the king of the universe? And who's the king of me? I'll tell ya, J-E-S-U-S. Yes, he is the king of me. He is the king of the universe, the jungle and the sea. Who is the king of the jungle? Who is the king of the sea? Who is the king of the universe? And who's the king of me? I'll tell ya, J-E-S-U-S. Yes, he is the king of me. He is the king of the universe, the jungle and the sea. Yes, he is the king of me. He is the king of the universe, the jungle and the sea. He is the king of the universe, the jungle and the sea.
I hope you guys enjoyed that video as much as I did. Let's move on and let's watch a small movie all about creation.
God's masterpiece. Creation. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was empty, formless, and dark. But the Spirit of God was there. On the first day, God said, "Let there be light." And God saw that the light was good. Then he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day and the darkness night. On the second day, God said, "Let there be a space to separate the waters of the heavens from the waters of the earth." God called the space sky. On the third day, God said, "Let the waters beneath the sky flow together into one place, so dry ground may appear." God called the dry ground land and the waters seas, and God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let the land sprout with every sort of plant and tree." And God saw that it was good. On the fourth day, God said, "Let lights appear in the sky to separate the day from the night." God made two great lights, the sun for the day and the moon for the night. He also made the stars. God set these lights in the sky to light the earth, and God saw that it was good. On the fifth day, God said, "Let the waters swarm with fish and other life. Let the skies be filled with birds of every kind." And God saw that it was good. On the sixth day, God said, "Let the earth make every sort of animal." God made all sorts of wild animals, livestock and small animals, each able to have babies of the same kind. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, to be like us." So God created man in his own image. He formed man from the dust of the ground. He breathed the breath of life into man, and a man became alive. Then he saw that the man needed a helper, so God put man into a deep sleep, and while he slept, God took one of the man's ribs. Then God made a woman from the rib and brought her to the man.
Hello.
Hi.
Then God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth and rule over it. Rule over the fish in the sea,
Hello, Lamb.
the birds in the sky,
Hello, Bird.
and all the animals that scurry along the ground." Then God said, "Look, I have given you every plant throughout the earth, and all the fruit trees for your food, and I have given you every green plant as food for all the animals." Then God looked over all he had made, and he saw that it was very good. So the creation of the heavens and the earth and everything in them was done. So on the seventh day, God rested from all his work, and God blessed the seventh day and said it was holy.
Everybody loves games. Let's do one with little monsters and we'll get started with our lesson. It's a goodie.
Flashback memory. Get ready for a monster mix-up. Now take a good look. Which one was not on the last page? That's right, it was C. Now remember what order these guys are in. Which one is correct? A, B, or C? If you picked C, you are correct. Remember what order these guys are in. Now, which one is the correct backwards order? A, B, or C? You were correct if you picked B. Take a good look. Which one was not on the last page? The correct answer is B. Now, which one has not yet appeared in this game? H is the correct answer.
Did you know that God made everything? He made animals. He made trees, he made grass, he made you, and he made me. He made everything in this whole entire world. And today, I'm going to take you for our lesson to Majestic Meadows Alpaca Farm, where you'll be able to see some of the animals that God created. And Mr. Jeff is going to show us around. Let's see what the Bible has to say about creation. Oops. Revelation 4:11b says, "For thou hast created all things, for thy pleasure they were created." Colossians 1:16b says, "All things were created for him and by him." God made everything. Genesis 1:24, "And God said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing." Guess what? We're going to see cattle. "And the beast of the earth after his kind, and so it was so." Genesis 1:25, "And God saw that it was good." We are going to have a good time this morning. Thanks for being with me.
All right, this is Stella, this is Maggie. These are actually pygmy goats, and basically their purpose is actually just pets. They're very friendly goats. They don't get too big. They have been dehorned, so they used to have horns, but what dehorning means is basically the horns are removed, so that way they can't butt up against anybody, themselves or people. So these guys are very, very friendly, but their attributes or their characteristics are they're very smart, very athletic. They can get out of anywhere pretty much, and as you notice, they can jump at great heights, and it doesn't bother them at all. Very friendly. They come in many different colors. These are both bottle fed, so their bottle will be, they get 4 bottles a day, and then as they get older, it'll go from 4, 3, 2 to 1, until then they won't get any bottles.
Pictures of him. That God created their legs so long so that they could get around quickly, and that they had long necks so that they wouldn't need to lay down to eat.
That is true, and then also don't forget, so God created these also because of their fleece, so their climate where they come from, that they can handle any type of weather. So they come from South America, so these guys here could handle no matter what the temperature is. If it was pouring down rain, they would run into the barn. But that being said, if you spread apart their fleece, it'd be dry inside.
Oh, wow.
So now also, now say if you bought this gray boy here as a pet,
Yeah.
and you didn't have anything to do with the investment, you just wanted a pet alpaca, you still have to shear it, because of opposite what I said, when it comes July and August, they'll get too hot. So we shear our animals in, that's going to be the 1st of May. So all of our animals, including the llamas, including the sheep, will all get no way to determine the color. So just because this animal's gray and I breed her to a gray male, doesn't mean you're going to get a gray baby.
Oh.
You hope to get a gray baby.
Now, how long are they pregnant for?
11 and a half months.
11 months!
Yes.
Moms!
Yes.
Could you even imagine?
Yes.
Whoa!
And so these guys, the alpacas I'm talking about now, and you can
Yeah.
include the llamas as well. I don't breed llamas, but they have their babies generally in the morning. So the idea is, by the time nightfall comes, they're strong enough to run away from predators. So if you notice anything about the llamas, there's 2 differences about the llamas right off the bat.
Okay.
Larry on the right is a Surrey llama. Harry on the left is a Wakaya llama. There's 2 types of alpacas, Wakaya and Surrey. I only have Wakaya, which is basically a fuzzy bear look.
Okay.
Larry is a Surrey, so the difference in the fleece is his fleece is in like dreadlocks. It grows straight down. So that's a Surrey llama, and that's a Wakaya llama. Now, right off the bat, there's several things that are really easy to determine. They're basically twice as big. So llamas can get up to 350 pounds, 400 pounds.
Wow.
They have banana-shaped ears, which means they actually curve in, and they're actually called a beast of burden. So, for example, you can actually, if you go on a hiking trip, you can actually use these to put a pack on, and they can actually carry your pack for you.
Wow.
So and as you notice, these as the alpacas cross, you can see the differences. Llamas are just so much bigger, and they all come from the same family. So llamas, alpacas all come from the camelid family. So if I had a camel here, it'd be camels, llamas, alpacas, and there's a few other species in the middle. But these guys are all related from the same family.
And they're mostly in like Peru,
Peru,
and
Bolivia, Chile, so South America.
Okay, okay.
And that's where they can they can handle the weather because of this fleece.
And I also heard that God made them with larger lungs so that they can breathe in high altitudes.
That is correct, and also they're sure-footed, so they have split toes.
Ah.
So when they get into the mountains and the rocks and stuff, they can handle. They're very sure-footed, kind of like a donkey.
Uh-huh.
They're very.
Oh, here he comes.
And llamas actually have a
Harry.
bad rap.
Because they spit.
Everybody's worried that
Right?
they're gonna come up and spit at you. Can they? These guys can all spit.
Please do it.
So basically, they spit over food. So if we put down 3 feed bowls here in the middle of all these animals, the alpacas or the llamas are going to spit at each other because they're going for the food.
So tell us about these donkeys and these cows. Obviously the cows are right here, the donkeys are over by the camera lady. This is Anna and Elsa, right?
That's correct. This is Elsa, this is Anna. She's almost full grown. She's very close to full grown. The difference between these cows and normal cows, these are actually called Highlander cows, or Highland, and they're from Scotland. So if you notice, they're very hairy, and once again, like the alpacas and the llamas, they can handle any type of climate because they do come from Scotland. So they're miniature calves or miniature cows. They won't get much bigger. Very, very friendly. Similarity with the alpacas is they do not have upper teeth, so they really can't bite you. They can just nub on you. This one here is having a withdrawal because she normally has a bottle, and so she wants her bottle. So she's not the happiest camper right now, and that's why she's hanging near me, because she really wants me to give her a bottle. These guys here are miniature donkeys. They are full grown and very, very friendly. These guys do not get shorn like the alpacas or the llamas or the sheep. These guys you actually just brush and their hair will come off. Now, once again, these are miniature donkeys, not full-grown donkeys. So people don't get these for guard dogs. A guard dog would be a full-grown donkey. These are miniature, so these are just pets. They can't really defend on anything. Much more naturally friendlier than the alpacas. They like to be petted, they like to be groomed. A big difference with these guys here and alpacas, another difference, you do not want to put your hand in these guys' mouth. They have teeth up and down. And so if you do, they don't mean to, but just like a horse, you will get bit. Another thing with donkeys is they kick with both legs up, and so what they do is they put both legs down the front and both their legs go up. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to congregate behind them, because it's just common sense. You just don't want to be kicked. All these animals here, if you notice something similar, they all have sheds. So just because these guys can handle the weather and the climate, you still want to provide a shed so they can get out of the wind and the rain or the snow, whatever. You have to have shelter for them.
Oh yeah.
This is Kodiak. He's a jack, which means a male donkey, and so he actually sires, or he's the father of most of my donkey babies that I have in a year. Very, very friendly. He knows his name. Another difference between donkeys and alpacas is these guys demand attention. They thrive on attention. He yells when a female yells, he yells back, and she literally could pet him and he'll stay there for an hour and he won't move.
He is a hugger.
Yes, he's a hugger.
He's a hugger. If you sit in a chair, he will come right up to you and give you a hug.
This is Thelma here. So she actually is full grown. And this is Louise. The characteristics between these two here and the two babies, which we first started off as, I'm not sure what their characteristics are. These two here, she likes to headbutt, and Louise, the black and white one, she likes to chew people's hair. And they've been doing that, and that's just their characteristics. The two babies haven't developed theirs yet. These boys here are are called baby doll sheep, and obviously you see that they're not going to have any problem in the cold climate. So they'll be shorn with the, and you can see how she's hitting my head already. These guys will be shorn with the alpacas, and so from their face on back, all the wool will be removed. The difference between an alpaca's wool and, a sheep's wool and alpaca's wool, this has lanolin in it. It's oily, and a lot of people are allergic to sheep's wool, and that's why alpaca wool is sought after more by people that are sensitive to skin issues, scratchy, whether it be whatever they have against a lot of people can't wear it because they're just not comfortable and it causes a rash. These guys are very friendly. So all these guys can be hand fed, with the exception of, if people are realizing you can't hand feed him. Very, very friendly, but look at them choppers. So teeth up and down, and he will not intentionally bite, because if you can see my hand, I'll be all over his face. He's not going to try to bite me, but you can't put your fingers in his mouth. But super, super friendly.
Now, I heard that God made sheep and that their wool coats never stop growing. Is that true?
That is correct. So these guys are approaching a year old. Now, they won't get much bigger, but look how much wool they have. So if you do not shear them, once again, they will overheat in August. What we have in this pasture here is 2 miniature horses. They are very close to being full grown. This is Sugar on the right, Spice on the left. And the one thing I didn't mention with the alpacas and the llamas is they do not damage the pasture. The Highlander cows and the donkeys, they damage the pasture because of sheer size and sheer weight. The alpacas and the llamas, they actually have padded feet, so they really don't damage the pasture. Now we move to these two guys here, and anyone's familiar with horses, they damage the pastures big time because of their weight, and they like to run, so they'll leave hoof marks in your entire pasture. And if you leave them in there long enough, it'll actually, if you notice a lot of horse farms, a lot of their pastures are just dirt. And so I'm real careful when I put these guys out until the ground is pretty hard. These guys here are very friendly. They're both females. Now, once again, the miniature donkeys, same scenario. They have teeth up and down, so you have to be careful that they can bite. Also, they have hooves, which means you have to have a farrier out, same as a miniature donkey. And what that is a person that specializes in trimming their hooves. The alpacas, they have split toes, llamas split toes, goats, and so very easy to trim. You really have to know what you're doing when you trim the miniature donkeys and the miniature horses. She basically, this spots right here, this white spots here is going to grow up her entire body over a period of time. So she's going to, once again, if you remember, I like the other animals besides alpacas to have a lot of flair to them, a lot of color, a lot of splash. So as she gets older, all this will be mixed in, so she'll be different colors. Spice over there, it's going to take longer. She won't have as much color. And as you noticed,
she is shedding.
I mean, shedding big time. So these guys, you don't shear, you brush, and it just comes off in clumps.
Yes.
And so they need to be brushed to basically so they won't be as hot.
You like me and scratched? Isn't it amazing that God made awesome animals for us to enjoy just purely for our pleasure? God is so good. And that's all, folks.